Hi everyone, I'm Laura Gadenik. I'm an astrologer and a therapist, and I'm here to give you the astrology for the weeks of October 21st through November 3rd, 2024. So on Tuesday, the 22nd of October, which is tomorrow, we have Mercury in Scorpio making a trine to Saturn in Pisces. Mercury is a planet about the mind, communication, messages, and Saturn is commitment, structure, stabilization. It's a bit more of a serious planet. So you might notice tomorrow having some more serious yet stabilizing conversations, maybe a structured meeting or a conversation that helps you kind of get to the bottom of something emotional. And I say that because Mercury in Scorpio, first of all, Scorpio is a sign that wants to go deep, wants to understand the root of something. It's a water sign. Water signs are all about emotion. And Saturn really helps us create structure, stability. Maybe this might even be about clarifying boundaries or agreements, and I say those terms because of Saturn. And on the same day, the Sun in Libra makes a square to Pluto. So Libra, where the Sun is all about relationships, agreements, terms, how do we get along. Pluto, similar to Scorpio, is a planet that wants to get to the bottom of something, wants to go to the subterranean depths. So Sun square Pluto also kind of helps us uncover something, perhaps in relationships, perhaps in collaborations we're part of. And it really helps us to kind of clean out the closet. If there's anything that's been stuck or hidden, or, something that you haven't wanted to talk about, tomorrow is the perfect day to have an honest, serious conversation about how you're feeling, how you've been feeling about something with someone. If it doesn't apply relationally, you might look to the parts of your chart that contain Libra, whatever house that is. It doesn't have to be romantic relationships, really. Like, it could be any sort of relationships. It could be, like with a family member, or someone you work with, or a roommate, all sorts of relationships. But yeah, tomorrow on the 22nd, there's just this kind of like more serious energy in the air for really like talking about like what's really going on, like what's really happening underneath the surface between you and someone else. Okay, Thursday the 24th, Mars in Cancer makes a sextile to Uranus and Taurus. Mars is our energy, how we take action. Uranus is doing things outside of the box, so we might have more of an ability to take action in new and inventive ways. So that's really nice. And then on Monday, the 28th, Mars in Cancer trines Mars in Cancer trines Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is a planet about dreams and vision. Mars is once again action, taking action, our energy. So this helps us take action and make moves towards a dream or a vision that we have, and to act with compassion. You might even notice having a desire to, do something to help others in some way. On the same day, Venus makes a square to Saturn. So Venus is love, relationships, beauty, our sense of connection. And squares are a bit more difficult, or they can be experienced as more difficult. And especially to a square to Saturn. Saturn is considered a malefic planet in astrology and can, it's the great teacher. In lots of ways, it helps us learn lessons, commit to things, endure. But also Saturn can be a planet that indicates isolation, loneliness, a sense of rejection. So you might have some senses of disappointments in relationships, or feeling rejected or alone, or like you're not good enough. You might feel just a little down. Venus also represents joy and fun and pleasure, and it just might not feel like it's easy to access those things on this day, on Monday the 28th of October. Joy and fun and pleasure just might be not as available. Not to say that it can't be, and I often think on days like this, on Venus square Saturn days, it's good to like actively engage in joyful activities or do things that are pleasurable or relaxing, or really question the thoughts you're having around like, oh, I'm feeling a little rejected, or like that person doesn't like me. Is that really true? Or is that just something in me that is sensitive to rejection? Is that just my own thoughts? Is that something from my past that I'm projecting onto this person or this situation? So I really think Venus square Saturn are good days to focus on self-love, self-compassion, and bettering your relationship with yourself. Because often those feelings of not belonging or being rejected or not being loved is usually not a reflection of the other person. I mean, of course, there's always situations where it could be a real reflection of the situation of the person. Like if you're in an abusive relationship, of course, I'm not like referring to situations like that. But just kind of offering this perspective of oftentimes in relationships, we are projecting our past and our own lack of self-love onto a person or situation. And at the same time, it's also a great day to give constructive feedback in relationships, kind of letting people who you're in relationship with know like what your love languages are, what your needs are, that you're feeling maybe a little alone and you need a bit more connection and love. So that's Monday the 28th. Also apologize for there's a loud truck coming through. Okay, it's moving on. Okay, Wednesday the 30th of October, Mercury in Scorpio opposes Uranus in Taurus. Mercury, once again, is the mind, communications, messages. Uranus is out of the box thinking, unexpected changes, surprises. So you might receive some surprising news, have some enlightening ideas, a radical change in perspective, maybe unexpected conversations. There could be some disruptions throughout the day. Mercury does kind of represent our day-to-day like schedules and kind of plans. Also, Mercury represents commerce and business, so things in business might kind of go array, or something wild might come up, something unexpected might come up that you have to deal with. And of course, Mercury also represents technology, so there might just be kind of disruptions on this day, technologically speaking. But then on Thursday the 31st, Mercury makes a trine to Neptune, which really helps the situation. This helps soften maybe rough or intense conversations, brings compassion. Also, it's a very creative aspect, really great day to engage in some sort of creative practice, some sort of flow. Having conversations that are more compassion focused, or that have more compassion in them. So yeah, anything that helps you get in a flow state would be great for Thursday the 31st. Anything that can help you kind of escape the mundane reality of the world in healthy ways would be great. But really, Wednesday the 30th through the 31st, through Thursday the 31st is just, I feel like there's a lot of creativity, a lot of creative energy, a lot of energy for brainstorming, making changes, and just coming up with new ideas. So Friday, November 1st, we have a new moon at 9 degrees of Scorpio. New moons are all about times of beginning, planting seeds, and this will be, pertaining to the part of your chart that contains Scorpio, so whatever house that is. But new moons are also just kind of a bit more of a quiet energy, more of an internal shift. Might be good to kind of not be out in the world doing as much and be more kind of in your own inner world, reflecting on your own emotional inner realms. So that is Friday, November 1st. Saturday, November 2nd, Mercury makes a trine to Mars. once again, Mercury, the mind, communication, Mars, action, energy. And so this might be a moment where we're kind of getting mentally prepared to take an action, to make a move, to be more assertive, and to be more assertive in your communications with other people, to be more kind of like, I'm just gonna kind of say what's on my mind. I'm gonna say how I feel. Mercury also makes a sextile with Pluto on this day, so that kind of enhances that energy or quality of like going deep and being honest. Mercury sextile Pluto wants you to have the cathartic conversations, wants you to get something off your chest, wants you to go to the depths and reveal something that's been hidden or murky or that's been hiding in the closet. So helps you to kind of get to the bottom of something. If it's not relationally, it might be like doing a bunch of research on something, really doing a deep dive on a topic or subject that you're really interested in or that you need to learn about. It's a really great day to kind of zone in and hone in on something that might be a bit mysterious in nature that you've been needing to learn. And then Mercury heads into Sagittarius for a couple of weeks, and that's just a way more kind of lighthearted energy. Mercury in Sagittarius is more focused on big picture ideas and philosophical thinking and ideas and having fun and joking and traveling and exploring and adventuring and a very different vibe than Mercury in Scorpio, a water sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. And I could really go so deep into all of these aspects. I could probably do, like, if I had the time and energy, a video on, Mercury in Scorpio versus Mercury in Sagittarius and all the differences there. But I'm kind of just giving you snippets of information that I think are the most useful. But yeah, lots of differences between Mercury in Scorpio versus Mercury in Sagittarius. Anyway, that was a random soapbox. Okay, Sunday, November 3rd. This has been culminating for some time, this energy of Mars opposing Pluto. This is big energy. And this isn't the first time that this will happen. This is the first of 3 passes between Mars and Pluto. Mars is action, energy, anger. Pluto is what's beneath the surface. Pluto represents power. Pluto represents issues around justice, usually injustice. So this is a time that represents needing to take decisive action, which could be transformational, like big changes. And it may be that you are forced to face power struggles. Mars is conflict, anger. Pluto is power, issues of justice, right? So you might have to, and it's going to be different for everyone. Like if you are someone who has sensitive points or planets around 29 degrees of Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, or Libra, you're going to feel this a lot more than someone who doesn't have any planets around that place. But generally speaking, Mars opposite Pluto could be a recipe for also explosive feelings. Mars is in Cancer, a sign about our emotions and the things that are most tender to us. And yeah, just kind of facing your own anger, your own sense of justice, taking action on something for your own sense of safety. Mars in Cancer is can reflect what we feel like we need to defend and protect. And often those are places where we feel very vulnerable. So yeah, it's a good day to kind of sit with any big emotions that come up, be present with them, tend to the parts of you that might be feeling reactive, but you might be spurred into action of some kind. And it might even feel like an emergency or a crisis. And it might be, it's going to be different for everyone. So yeah. And always, I think it's a good reminder that we can ask for help. At least most of us can. I hope you can ask for help. We're not alone. We are not our feelings or our thoughts. We are much greater than that. Yet our feelings do reflect our needs for safety, and also can sometimes reflect things from our past that we haven't quite worked through. You know, sometimes when we're feeling something, we're just triggered. Something triggers us, and it's really reminding us of something that happened to us a long time ago. So this could even be about uncovering something that, or getting to the root of something, getting to the root of maybe a big emotional experience, a trigger. So thankfully, Venus opposes Jupiter on this day, which might help things a little bit. Venus and Jupiter are the benefic planets in astrology. They're very relational and peaceful, and can maybe help with forgiveness, understanding, connection. They might even be helping the situation in the sense of, offering the help that you might need. So Mars opposite Pluto might bring up a really intense situation where you're needing to take action really quickly. And it might involve a big change. And then Venus opposing Jupiter might be like, you have a friend who can help you out, or someone in your community, or maybe a family member has the solution, has the a solution to the problem. So that's kind of how I'm viewing it. Venus opposite Jupiter can also speak to excess, overdoing something, too much of something. And Venus and Jupiter being benefic planets about the pleasurable aspects of life, I think about having too much fun at a party and, the next day feeling really hungover or something like that. Or I don't know. I mean, if you're someone who struggles to let go and have fun, Venus opposite Jupiter aspects, I think, are actually really good. But if you're someone who struggles to be disciplined and get your work done and, already lives a life of excess, then Venus opposite Jupiter might be more of a challenge for you. So it's really just different for each person. But yeah, I really think Venus opposite Jupiter is overall a very helpful aspect in relation to this Mars opposite Pluto. And I feel like it's something about help coming through in some way, and some sort of understanding, greater perspective, compassion, and just a helping hand of sorts. Okay, so that's Sunday the 3rd, and I think that is, the 3rd of November. So that is the astrology for the next couple weeks. This is really big, pretty big astrology. Like I mentioned, that Mars opposite Pluto aspect on the 3rd of November is the first pass of 3. And I'll mention the other 2, hopefully I'll remember to. I can't quite remember the dates of the other passes of Mars opposite Pluto, but kind of think of this as chapter 1 of 3 chapters. So this is the beginning of needing to make a big shift or change, or needing to take major decisive action. And also, I forgot to mention too, it could be around themes revolving around home and family and emotional security. And that's because Cancer represents home, family, emotions. So that's kind of a general theme that might be coming up for people. So, all right. Thank you for watching. As always, I'm available for readings to kind of go over how this stuff showing up personally for you. Please like, subscribe, comment. Helps my tiny little cute channel to grow. And I'll be back in a couple weeks with another astrological update. Take care.